Okay. So we're talking about our game plan for the next few months, and we're talking about taking into account what's going on in people's lives as far as the holidays are concerned. So I'm personally starting my next challenge group this Monday will be preseason for, I'm kind of calling it like a holiday survival. I think I called it like pre-holiday survival. Called it like countdown to the pounds, whatever. And I'm starting that preseason the last week in October so that it fully kicks off the first week in November. And then what I was just saying to Jen was that I would take that. It's going to be a 21-day group. So if I start November 2nd, 21 days is going to bring me to the 24th or the 23rd. I can't do math, the 23rd, which is the week of Thanksgiving. So really, I'm kind of going back and forth. I could do it as a 30-day group, and then that would allow me to give them tips through Thanksgiving, which I think might be helpful to have that support. So I think scratch that, I'll do it as a 30-day group. So that's my November for that. And then just kind of staying on the track with challenge groups, that's going to bring me to day 30 would be December 1st. And on December 1st, a few things are happening because I'm going to start my next challenge group. And I'm going to do a 21-day countdown or a 30-day rather countdown to, no, I'm sorry. I'm looking at this in writing. You guys are probably like, she's crazy. And I am. A 21-day countdown to New Year's. And the reason for 21 days is because if I start it on, I'm going to do preseason on Monday, November 30th. And I'm going to do a shortened preseason and kick off Tuesday the 3rd, because then 21 days would bring me to Christmas Eve. So again, I'm kind of in that same situation I was in November, where I can continue to give them support if they're really engaged through the holidays, but then they're kind of game planning for that month. But the other thing that's happening is December 1st, I believe December 1st is when Hammer and Chisel launches. So something you want to keep in mind is start talking about Hammer and Chisel, going on Beachbody On Demand, doing the workouts, recording a video of yourself, recording, pictures of yourself, talking about the workout, talking about how it's different. It's the first program that Beachbody is launching that has 2 trainers. Talk about how people could, at the end of this month, talk about how people could do the 21-day fix or Body Beast to get themselves ready for that, because those are the 2 trainers, Sagi and Autumn. And then really talk that up for the next, month, and then get people to be in that Hammer and Chisel. You can call it your launch group or your test group or whatever you want to call it, as the first round of people who are doing that program. That's the only time I really have a specific program group. And the reason for that is I will tell people the program that I'm doing and suggest that they can do it along with me. Like, I'm going to be starting the 21-day fix extreme after I do the refresh next week. So I talk about that, but I don't want anyone to think, they've got in their mind they want to do T25 and now they don't want to be in my group because they don't want to do 21-day fix. Like, I don't like to kind of count anyone out. However, when it's the release of a program, I like to do a program specific group because it allows me to get my feet wet with the program and the nutrition and really just hone in on that program specifically, and then use that going forward. So hopefully that makes sense for you guys. So then I would do that in December, my Hammer and Chisel launch group. And don't quote me, I want to say it's a 60-day program. So that would run the full 60 days and bring you into January.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I was kind of thinking about the whole Hammer and Chisel thing, and I was thinking, what if you did like a couples challenge group?
Yeah.
So like a guy and a girl, and like, the guy's looking to get ripped and the girl's looking to get shredded. Like, is that something that you could run, or do you think that would be
absolutely.
successful?
You can run whatever you want. I would say,
I just don't know if it's a good idea.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great idea. And actually, that was something that when I first heard about Hammer and Chisel, I said to my husband, oh my gosh, we're tally doing this. You're going to do it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying to my husband too.
Probably not going to happen for me. In a perfect world, it would, but it probably won't happen. I know my market, and I can't say that my market wouldn't appeal to that. I've never put it out there like that, but you can certainly put it out there and see what kind of feedback.
Yeah.
Even if there are a few coaches who want to team up to do that, like I was saying, if I were to put it out there, I don't know that I would get a lot of input. I don't know that I would get a lot of participation, but maybe like, let's say I have 2 couples, you have 2 couples, Jen has 2 couples, and you kind of make a group that way.
Yeah.
Something to consider, but it's definitely, even if you don't run a group that way, it's definitely a talking point when you're talking about the program.
Okay.
You know?
Cool.
And then, like I said, if you get, you put it out there and you get a lot of feedback, then you run a group specifically for that. Because then, I think that's a totally different group, because then you could even have fun with it and do like, the couple that has the best results, or the couple that, like, you could do challenges that way, which would be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys saw this. Carl Deichler mentioned this on the National Wake Up Call a couple weeks ago, but there's a contest right now. It's if you go on Beachbody On Demand and you do the hammer and chisel workout and you record a video of yourself doing it and you post it with the hashtag, I want to say it's hashtag be a master, and you submit that on your social media, and I think you have to tag them. I don't remember the official rules, but it's a contest and you can win some cool prizes. So, if you want to use it to promote on your page anyway, it's cool. It's a cool way to enter contests. And those contests are really worth it. And I actually know a few coaches who have won, like a friend of mine just did we did that Shakeology Boost Up challenge. She won that, and she got like they sent her like the whole Boost, all the Boost products and like all these cool things. So that's a good thing. The other thing, and shame on me for not realizing this, but I guess because life's been so crazy, I didn't. Right now, the promotions are 21 Day Fix, Fix Extreme, and Body Beast for the challenge packs this month. I didn't realize that the Body Beast challenge pack, in addition to being $140 for Body Beast and Shakeology, it also comes with the Performance Line sample pack. That's really awesome. So that's something that, like, if you have a coach signing up who already has a program and already, like into things, I would definitely suggest them getting that, because it's just a good program to have because it is so different. But then also they're getting their Shakeology and the sample pack, like, to be able to try that, that's huge. And that's huge for you when you're talking with your customers, because it's exposing them to something totally new. So that's something to keep in mind. And that's something I need to personally start talking about, because like I said, that Performance Line is great. It's something so different than what we've had before. And, I don't know if you guys realize this, but when you watch the DVDs, and someone brought this up, I don't know if it was on a call I was on or what, but when you if you do the workouts on your DVD player, right? At the end of the workout and at the beginning of the workout, they kind of plug Shakeology, and they'll plug like energy and endurance or results and recovery. And they plug like all the different products. And then they plug like being a coach and Coach Summit and yada, yada. But now with Beachbody On Demand, that doesn't exist. So if you have customers who are only using Beachbody On Demand, they're not getting those plugs. So make sure in your groups, when you're running challenge groups, you're talking about those things. Like, make sure, and I need to do a better job of this with myself, make sure you're really talking up Shakeology and talking about the boosts and talking about the Performance Line, because they may not be, and even talking about the coaching opportunity if you want to, they may not be seeing that if they're doing on demand. Or if they are doing DVDs, you can bring it up and say like, hey, did you guys see that crazy video that, that crazy commercial on the DVD that Tony Horton does with checking out Shakeology? He's such a goof. Like, you could even bring it up that way and just kind of spark conversation. So just kind of keep that in mind, that, we talk so much about our workouts, and if you're like me, you talk sometimes about Shakeology, but we don't talk about all the different things that we have to offer and kind of the whole package. So that's just something to keep in mind. So yeah, that's kind of my game plan. Really just starting to think about, like I said, what's going on in people's lives right now. Think about at the end of each month, really, like the end of October, you're going to have people who have probably dipped their hand in the candy bowl for Halloween. So you could start talking about candy detoxing, and you could do the first week in November, a 3-day refresh. Who wants to refresh with me after having Halloween candy? Then you get into November and you've got Thanksgiving and you've got people eating pie. And then the last week in November, you could talk about a 3-day refresh. Like, you really could do the 3-day refresh at the end of each of these holiday months. And really going forward, the only month there isn't something with candy and crap is January, because then in in February, you've got Halloween, you've got Valentine's Day and people eating candy, you know, and then we get into March and it's Easter and people eating candy. And then April rolls around and people are like, oh crap, I need to put on a bathing suit. Like, so when you think of it from that perspective, the year just kind of goes, and that's something that you can use for marketing. Like, you could really make it. And when the refresh was designed, it was designed really to be like a monthly thing. So you could talk about that, you know, talk about all the things that are coming up. Something that I started talking about was there's 10 weeks left in the year. You lose a pound a week, you lose 10 pounds. You lose 2 pounds a week, you lose 20 pounds, 30 pounds, whatever. So that's a good one. I saw Jen posted an image that I used last year. She posted it today. If you didn't see it, it's it's like a silhouette, and it's someone now and then after Halloween, after Thanksgiving, and I think it was New Year's, and, you know, at one point, or Christmas. And it's like showing the progression of them getting like bigger and bigger and bigger in their stomach. And it's so true. Like, it's a really great visual reminder for people that we tend to, you know, the holidays come, we get stressed out, our nutrition goes by the wayside, things get crazy, we don't make ourselves a priority. And before you know it, like, you know, the new year rolls around, your pants don't fit, and now you're making resolutions that you're not going to keep. So just so much to think about that you really can use to your advantage when you're making your posts, and using that, you know, to kind of think outside of the box and kind of make people think, like, and then always make your posts actionable. So you're talking about these things and you're appealing to people, but then you don't want to just say like, hey, I don't know about you, but I'm not going to gain those Halloween pounds this year. Send, like, you want to invite them to something. You want to make it actionable. You want to say like, comment, or share if, you know, you tend to buy only the Halloween candy that you like because you know you're going to be the one eating it, or whatever, you know, and make it something to engage people. So it's not just sharing your thoughts and then they go off and do whatever. Make it so that they're engaged somehow. That's just something to think about. And then also, you know, last month we did the free Crock-Pot group. I would like to start to think about what we could do for a free group the first week in November. So, you know, just kind of thinking about, I mean, you could do like a football thing. You could do some kind of a fitness challenge if you wanted. But I do like the idea of like a 5-day something. Like maybe even last month was Crock-Pot, like maybe five days of soups, or recipe renovations where like you take recipes and you make them healthier or something. So let's just kind of start to think about that. And if you guys have any input, let's like brainstorm that on the team page and figure out what we can do. And what I would really, really like to do is pull together to create a script for that. Because like when I did it last month, I just did one Crock-Pot recipe a day. But I really think that, like, you know, our team has so many people on it that if we all just did something and we each put in some kind of recipe or created some kind of a post, even if we're not running the groups together, like, we could really create a really nice curriculum. And I think that would be something worthwhile, because you can definitely use it again. So just start to kind of get the wheels turning, and I'll do the same. And then I'm going to do a sneak peek next week. Just trying to look at my calendar here. Yeah, I'm going to do a sneak peek the 27th through the 30th. And I want to do a business opportunity call, but I'm trying to think of some innovative ways to do that. And I saw something today. I think I was on Pinterest. I don't remember. And it was like a coaching open house happy hour. So it was like, instead of a coaching opportunity, you could have everyone in a group and like post a video every 10 minutes. So almost like a play on the coach open house, or even just make it like the business opportunity call is really laid back and it's a happy hour. Bring your glass of wine and learn about the business. That could just like something fun, you know, like to kind of switch it up a little bit and pique people's interests. So I'm starting to think about that. Either way, there will be an coach open house, coach sneak peek, the 27th through 30th. If you guys want to team up for that, that's totally cool. And then, like I said, I will do a business opportunity call next. I'm gonna say next Wednesday night, the 28th. I'll do that business opportunity call. So you can do your own, you can invite to mine, whatever you want to do, whichever. So that's what I'm kind of thinking about as far as my game plan. Megan, I see you're able to be on. Are you able to talk? Do you want to talk about what you had?
Yeah, can you hear me? I don't know why
Yep.
I can't be seen from my phone.
Oh, we can see your profile picture.
I know, but it's the weirdest thing. Colin has a Chromebook, and I couldn't sign on to him. But for some reason, I can only speak. I can't be seen,
Okay.
which might be better.
Perfect.
So along the lines of what you were talking about so far, I listened to Melanie's calls, and she had some great ideas, as always. She was talking about doing a free group in November and kind of doing like a tailgating, clean eating, bringing Thanksgiving in, kind of like, how to do clean recipes with Thanksgiving, ways to survive Thanksgiving. Can you hear me still?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
As like a free group that way. I mean, that's just an idea. I don't know if we'd want to do that. If we were going to do that, do it closer to Thanksgiving. But her whole thing was like, kind of like, have the free group, get your Success Club points early, and then don't feel like you're scrambling at the end of the month.
Right.
But my only thing with that is I just don't know if it's too early, and I don't really know if the tailgating thing, but her thing was like party recipes and how to survive like this party time and what to eat and what not to eat at parties, and then like tie in Thanksgiving and that kind of stuff.
I feel like we could do. You know what? I saw someone post about the Thanksgiving. I didn't get the tailgating, and I didn't get a chance to listen to her call yet. But my thought with the tailgating, like I've been trying to like plug that into my challenge groups, like randomly.
Right.
But I always think tailgating like more like Super Bowl time.
Yeah, no,
so
I agree.
Like
I mean, I don't really tailgate. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Me neither.
I mean,
I'm like tailgating.
Maybe it has to do with the fact that I have 3 kids. I don't know.
That could be it. Absolutely. Yeah, that's a good point. But thinking about Thanksgiving, even if we did do that, I like to do it the first week because, then you get new blood and you can, get people to purchase challenge packs and be in your groups.
Right.
So maybe we could do that Thanksgiving thing because even though it's a couple of weeks before Thanksgiving, it's giving them ideas that they can then use rather than like, I don't know about you, but I'm sure people who are hosting a huge Thanksgiving are already kind of thinking about their menu. You know what I mean? Whereas
exactly.
like the week of Thanksgiving, they're not going to be like, oh, what am I going to cook? So if we did it early, I think that would be totally fine. So I think that would be a really, really fun one. I think that would get a lot of people.
No, I think that could totally be good because, I mean, most people don't plan. People plan for Thanksgiving. I feel like that's like the most planned out holiday. I mean, granted, we'll be flying home from Aruba that day and aren't even doing Thanksgiving, but it's something to definitely, I think that people stress about.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to write that down. I like that. So Thanksgiving.
I'll tell you more of her ideas too right now.
Okay.
She was also going to do a 3-day refresh after Halloween and have a Shakeology and clean eating group with a 3-day refresh. She thought that might be a big one. And then her November group, she was thinking of doing Thanksgiving thankfulness.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, and tips on like eating out, traveling, because a lot of people travel around the Thanksgiving, more holiday clean eating and surviving the holidays. And then also talking about during November, cash for Christmas, like earn extra money during the Christmas time, really kind of like doing that for like November and October, like more like in the sneak peek, like leading up to the sneak peek. Can you hear me?
Yeah, for recruiting, you mean, right?
Yeah, for recruiting. But she was talking about that, and then she was talking about November 30th, promote New Year's and the holidays, maybe do a 21-day fix group in December, and call it like successful start to a new year. Or I saw that Megan Blanca, had like Little Black Dress as her title. I thought that was cute too.
Mm-hmm.
And do like a 21-day group in December. And also starting on December 7th, doing a 60-day Hammer and Chisel group.
Yeah. Okay.
So those were some of her ideas not some of her ideas. That was her map out for the rest of the year.
Yeah. Okay. That's kind of what we were saying. Good. All right.
Yeah. I also wanted to talk about, I know that the Fall Classic, did you discuss that before I got on?
Nope.
It is coming around, and I know I've had only on my part of my team 6 people sign up, which is great. So we've made teams of 3. I'm going to tell everybody those teams and do all that. But I think it's very important that everybody gets involved, even if they don't really understand what it is. I want to do a video on that and post it on my team page, but about the prizes and the rules and all that stuff. But she also said, which I thought was a great idea, kind of like, and we could do this with Team Fit and Fulfilled, like do a leaderboard and have our own little contest within our team.
Yeah, I like that.
And do, like some kind of prize with that. I really like that. But I think the main point is really to get more people involved in the Fall Classic, and kind of like I've been talking it up, but I think people are more hesitant. So I think I'm going to private message some of my coaches to discuss that more that didn't say that they wanted to do it.
Yeah, I mean, there's really no reason not to participate in these things, guys. And I have to say, and I will talk more about this after Megan's done if we have time, but like you just, you can sit in your house, in your car, on your phone, on your couch, and run this business, and you can be successful. But I honestly feel like the magic happens when you become part of the community of coaches, and, bigger than just what's on our team page. Like, I can tell you that I have some of like my closest friends, people that I talk to every day, people that I lean on for support, are people that I know from coaching, that I've literally met once at Summit, and that's it. Like, because this is so much a part of my life, and it's so fulfilling that I don't know, like I just feel like you need to get involved in these things. Need to get involved in the contests and the events, and go to, just make connections and find success partners, and just, it's really just so important. I really can't stress that enough. So just kind of a side note.
Right. No, I totally agree. I also think that during this time, it's really important to really be a product of the product, and like more than ever, show your workouts, show your Shakeology, because if people are just looking at you and see that you're kind of like slacking off, then they're not really going to want to follow you. Mm-hmm. And that you really can't wait till January 1st. Like, I feel like this part of the rest of the year, you really need to go like full throttle in your business, because if you're just saying, I'm going to wait till January, everybody who's watching you, and they're watching you, even if you don't think they're watching you, they're going to see you slacking, and they're not going to trust you.
It's so true.
Yeah. So, I think it's like, it gets to be such an internal struggle, but you really need to lead by example, because it resonates with so many people, so you don't want to be showing pictures of like, you hammered at all these holiday parties, like, not that it's not okay to have a glass of wine or, eat your cake or whatever, but, it's so important to be a product of the product. I mean, in living the 80-20 rule, right. Not be like 100% clean eating. But I mean, really, when it comes down to this, your body's your business, and setting an example is really important.
Yeah. I'm sorry that I keep jumping in. I obviously.
No, it's okay. I'm fine with this.
But yeah, I totally agree. And that's not to say that you need to have rock hard abs, but it just exactly like, people aren't going to trust you if you're not doing what you're telling them to do. People are going to, I don't remember the exact quote, but it's, people buy what you do, not what you say, and not what you sell. Like, they're not buying the 21 Day Fix because they're looking at a picture that Beachbody created. They're buying the 21 Day Fix because they're seeing you do it, and they're inspired by you, and they're seeing that someone who's like them can manage it, and the busy mom, or the working woman, or the person who's always struggled with their weight, they're able to do it. So then they're like, oh, I got this, I can do it too. And it's so it really is so true. And if you guys listened to the National Wake Up Call from Monday, that's exactly what she was talking about, was that forever she got into Beachbody, and she had always been into health and fitness. And she worked out at the gym, and she just, at first she wasn't even drinking Shakeology. She was coaching, and she was running groups, but she wasn't drinking Shakeology. She wasn't doing the workouts. She was still going to the gym. So she was fit. People saw that she was fit and they trusted her for that, but she wasn't being a product of the product. And, we talk about the 3 vital behaviors, and I think that personal development is the one where most people slack. But I also think that being a product of the product is one that we kind of start to take for granted. It is so powerful. And don't just become a robot about it. Like, I find too myself, like, I'm really good about posting every day my workouts and talking about them, but sometimes I feel a little bit robotic in it. Like, I need to start to mix it up, and I need to talk about my feelings, and I need to play into emotions, and I need to see like what my warm market is attracted to. But do a program from start to finish, because you can do the 21-day fix, and you can do Body Beast, and you can do whatever programs are out there. But if you're dabbling here and there, first of all, your people aren't going to kind of get it. And, one of the things she was talking about was the way that these programs are set up, and the way that we talk about our products, and the way that we market our challenge groups, is that we have a system that works. Beachbody pays people the big bucks to figure out a formula and a system that works. And that's why you do, yoga on this day, and cardio fix on that day, and upper body on this day, and lower body on that day, because they've done the research and they know what works. And that's why you have to have, 4 red containers and 2 yellow containers, because they've done the research and that's what works. So if we're not doing it, then we're not showing that we trust the system. And so then people aren't going to trust the system. So when you talk about your workouts, something that I'm going to start doing when I'm just finishing T25 now, and I did do it all the way through, but what I'm going to talk about when I start the 21-day fix extreme is when I post my workouts, I'm going to say 21-day fix extreme, day 1, workout, whatever, blah, 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 blah. So people see each day. And something that Evelyn, a coach on our team, Evelyn, in case you guys don't know who she is, she's one of Kathy's coaches. She's on Team Fit and Fulfilled. She does a really good job of this. So when she does, like, I don't remember what program it was, but let's say the 21-day fix, she took her picture of her workout every day, and she labeled them day 1, day 2, day 3, and she put that on the picture. And then on day 21, she was able to make a collage of every single picture. So it was really cool to see the entire program. And so you were seeing her results, obviously, but it wasn't just a side-by-side. It was like the whole journey of the program. And that was really cool, I thought. So just think about that.
That is cool.
Yeah.
I'm not going a little like not off track, but I think a lot of people are struggling. It seems like, including myself. And I think that I've been listening to a lot of personal development lately to really try to, hone in on different things. And it was even like listening to Melanie talk and her saying that she's actually struggling, and that she's been, looking at different coaches' things and finding different personal development and trying to do things different, kind of made it like, realize that everybody struggles, and, that, we don't want to get stuck, and that we're business owners and we have to do more than we're paid for, or, you're never going to succeed. So kind of like, if something's not working for you, if the book that you're reading isn't helping you, pick up a new book. There's so many good personal development books that you can do. Or if you don't like that podcast or that video you're listening to, listen to something that reaches you more, because, that nothing's going to be given to us, and that, we have to work for everything that we want to succeed, and nobody is going to hold our hand. We all have upline that we can go to and, can help, but they can't do it for us. So, like, if you feel stuck, you really have to find another way, and you can ask for help, but you have to really be passionate about it. And that's one thing I really pulled away from it is, to really be passionate about it. And if you don't like where your business is going, it's you that needs to change. And like, sometimes that's, hard to stomach and think about, but, I think that times we really need to ask ourselves, like, why aren't we being successful? Why aren't we hitting Success Club 5? Like, why aren't we selling 3 challenge packs? Because when you think of it like that, as helping 3 people, it doesn't seem hard, and even though like failure is a part of the bigger picture, we need to get around that and kind of, figure out what we can do to succeed, because we're all in this because we want to be, because we chose this as our job, because we're passionate about it. And if something's not working, I think we need to step back and kind of like look at the bigger picture. And that's something that, you know, I've even been working on the past, like lately, because, you know, I mean, I've been doing this for over, well, almost a year and a half. And I feel like at times you kind of need to switch things up. And, you know, so I think that's really important to remember. And I also listened to, she also talked about one of the calls being really good was, not calls, podcasts, was Shailene. Oh my God. Can you tell I have a cold? Shailene Johnson's Millionaires 5 Mantras. Have you heard about this one?
Yeah, I don't know if I listened to that one. I listen to Shalene every day. I don't think I got that one though.
Okay, so this one was awesome. I listened to it. I walked my son to school, and then I watched a baby during the day. So I kept walking her around the lake that I live on to like listen to this call. But she kind of talked about like the 5 things that you really need to think about. And one of them is kind of like you need to count your blessings. This isn't the order she talked about, but this is like, obviously I couldn't take notes as I'm walking, so I had to write it down after by memory. You know, think about your blessings. Like, think about, you know, you have a car. It may not be the car that you're dreaming of, but you have a car and you have a house and you have food and all the things you have. And you're not, you know, write them all down and be proud of everything you have. And if you're proud of everything you have and you're counting your blessings, like more good things are going to come to you rather than sitting there, you know, I don't have what I want and I don't have the car that I want and I need a bigger house. And, you know, like if you have your health and you have, you know, the ability to exercise and the ability to do all these things, you know, it's really a blessing that, you know, a lot of us take for granted, including myself. Another thing she talked about was like enjoying the journey. Like nobody's going to make you a millionaire in a day, like, or, you know, make you reach your goals in a day. You know, part of this whole thing is the journey and getting to it and actually being proud of your failures and being proud of how you overcome things. Because if something was giving it to you on a silver platter, it's not as meaningful as something that you actually like fought through and got through and dealt with, you know. And we can all think of something that we've worked really hard towards and how proud we were at the end because we did it ourselves rather than, you know, somebody giving it to you. She also talked about the 80-20 rule and basically it's not just with eating. I mean, I know we always think about the 80-20 rule with eating, but it's with everything. Like if you wake up every day and say, I'm going to be 100% happy and I'm going to get 100% of the things done and 100% of the people I meet are going to like me, that's not realistic. You kind of have to realize that, you know, 20% of your goals might not happen and 20% of people that you meet may not like you and 20% of people that you try to get, you know, to listen to your story or to get a challenge pack or to help, they're not going to care what you have to say. So it's kind of like you have to live by the 80-20 rule and be okay with it and realize that, you know, it's not going to be 100%. Like that's just something that we need to accept. She also talked about that, you know, there's no excuse for certain things, you know, and we all say this. I mean, including myself. Like, trust me, I'm far, far, far from perfect. We always have excuses. Oh, I can't get this done. I have the kids. They have these activities, or I'm working my job. I can't get to it, or you know, I have to deal with my parents or my pets, or you name it. But I mean, honestly, there is time. And if you make excuse after excuse, it's not going to happen because you're never going to get out of your excuses. You're always going to be stuck and then you're going to become negative. And, you know, once you bring negativity into it, and, you know, she talked a lot about not feeding into the negativity. Like, you know, she even said, like, Shailene even said, like, you know, she'll have all these good posts on her page and then someone will post something like, oh, that's not going to work. Or, you know, maybe you'll reach out to somebody to join a challenge group and they'll be like, nope, I think that's terrible. Or Shakeology is filled with garbage, or, you know, I'm just making this stuff up. But I mean, you can't let the negativity get to you. Like, you just have to live a positive life and not even focus on it. And it reminds me of so much stuff. Like, we have this page in our town, like, for community people, and all it is people bitching, excuse my language, about stuff that is so stupid when you think about it, that there's been even times, especially like since I'm a Board of Education member, that I've almost felt like I had to like delete myself from the group because I couldn't even read it anymore because it would make me angry. And it's all about like those people that are negative and like don't agree with your journey on Beachbody and don't agree with what you're doing. You just have to kind of like get rid of it and don't even listen and don't even respond because it's not even worth your time. She also talked about, you know, how you are responsible for everything. Like there's no one else responsible. You know, it's not your coach's job to set you up for success. It wasn't your parents' job to hand you everything on a silver platter. It's not, you know, your spouse's job to make everything perfect for you. You are responsible and you need to work really hard at what you do. And, you know, the passion and the consistency and, you know, keep doing what you're doing because you love what you're doing and everybody, yeah, and you will get to where you want to be. And it was a really great call. That's my summary in a nutshell, but listening to her sounds a little bit more passionate because she doesn't say, like I do every other step. Yep. So anyway, I really enjoyed that call today, but I just wanted to share a few of those things because I know I have a lot of people struggling on my team and, and it's hard. And I've really been trying to redo different, not redo, but refocus and try different ways and just kind of know that everybody struggles. Like it's not just like new coaches who sign up, it's coaches who have been doing it for a while.
Yeah. And I think, when Megan and I were talking about like what we would talk about on this call tonight, that was one of the things we said was like, don't get comfortable and don't get stale. You hit Emerald and you're like, woohoo, I'm Emerald, this is great. And then you stop. Or you hit Diamond and everything is wonderful. You get recognized, people are under you, you've got a team building, and then you stop. And then you fall back and you can lose it just as fast as you got it. Just like, you can gain weight just as fast as you lost it. And, you might hit 500 PV last week and you get comfortable. Or you might have people coming to you and you get comfortable. And when that happens, your business, just dwindles. You make this business what you want it to be and you set your hours. But if you have big goals, whatever your goals are, you have to know the work that has to be put in. So if you want to make a little bit of income and have a little bit of success, then you put in a little bit of work. But if you have visions of being the next top coach and being in the top 10 and being elite and being on that stage at Summit, then you have to work like someone who's on that stage at Summit. They don't just sit around and wait for people to come to them. And kind of going with what Megan was saying, I have been listening a lot to Chalene Johnson. She is my girl lately. So we talk so much about personal development, and I have books right here on my desk that I've opened and I've read a couple of, chapters of, and then I sit down and, to be honest, like, with a 5-month-old and 2-year-old, when am I reading a book, right? But so I had to find what works for me. And so I am having a rough month. Like I'm at SC1. Okay. So just think about that. Like, not like I'm whatever. You never know what. You probably wouldn't know that if I didn't tell you that, right? Like if you look at my posts and you see kind of what I'm doing, I don't think that you would necessarily assume I'm at SC1, but I am, and I'm struggling, and it's been rough, but I have to be honest. And I have to be honest with myself. Like I will talk to my success partners and I'm like, I just don't know what's going on. I just don't know what's going on. And I was spending the month saying like, I don't know what's going on. But when I listened to Chalene yesterday in the ride to the car, and she, one of the things I love about her is she's so motivational and so passionate, and she just is so inspiring, but she's so real in like a very nice way, in a very sweet voice. She's like, you know what? Quit throwing yourself a pity party because it ain't cute. And no one thinks it's cute. And, you don't look pretty doing it, and get over yourself. And I was like driving to work in the car and I was like, Chrysanthi, get over yourself. And it was funny because I was talking to my babysitter before I left for work, and I literally said something about, I was talking about something else and said, get over yourself like 3 times about something else. And then I got in the car and Shalene told me to get over myself. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to freaking get over myself because I went back to work this month. I'm working 3 days a week. I've got the kids. Like, I've got a million excuses, laundry piling up, yada, yada. But I was making excuses. And to be honest, I have not been working my business the way that I know I need to. And I was getting discouraged and I was letting it get the best of me. And then I was sitting back going, I just don't know what's happening. No, I know exactly what's happening. I'm not doing what I need to be doing. And so I made a conscious effort and a conscious decision to say, here are my goals. I'm going to hit them and I'm going to do whatever it takes from now until the end of the month to achieve the goals that I set for myself, because this is what I want to do. And no one is going to make it happen for me. And me, you know, sometimes the things that you do that work don't work. You know, I have really great success with posting and having people come to me based on the actionable posts that I make. It's not happening this month. I need to reach out to people. I need to recruit. I need to message people. I need to be more creative. And I need to kind of start to think about, okay, what can I change in my business? Because what I've been doing isn't working this month. So just don't get comfortable and don't take for granted the things that have always worked, because they're not going to always work. And that's why you have to always come up with new ideas, and you have to follow people constantly and do your personal development constantly, and just always think about how you can improve and how you can add value to people's lives and offer to them. So that's just kind of a raw look at what's been going on in my head. And just know that, like Megan said, you know, we all struggle, but taking those struggles and changing them into successes and taking that failure and making, you know, failing forward is what's going to keep you in this business. Because otherwise you're going to wake up one day and go, you know what, I'm just over it. And I don't want to see that happen to anyone. I don't want to see it happen to myself. Are there days when I'm like, maybe I'm not cut out for this? Absolutely. And that's crap. And you can't think that way, because you know what? If you think that way, that's what's going to be. You have to say and believe what you want to happen, and then it will happen. Because if you say, you know what, I'm just not going to hit Success Club this month, it's October 22nd, it's just not going to happen, guess what? It's not going to happen. But if you say, I'm going to hit SC5, I'm going to help 3 people, I'm going to hit SC10, I'm going to sign 3 coaches, it's going to happen, and you're going to make it happen. So just, you know, that's kind of our personal development take on things for you. But if I can just give you one piece of advice, it's look inside of yourself and look for what isn't working, and then figure out how to make it work. And again, like Megan said, I can't make it happen for you. Melanie can't make it happen for me. I have to look for what I can do and what I can change. And that's where personal development's really helping me. So like I said, Shalene is my girl. I literally get in the car. I put her on my phone. I have the podcast app. I scroll through to see what podcast she's done lately. And I look to see, like today I got in the car and I was like scrolling through, and she had one on like how to have better date nights with how to date your mate or something it was called, which wasn't necessarily in you know, directly related to my business, but I was like, hey, this could be something that will improve my life. And then in turn, it trickles down into everything else. So I'm going to listen to this. I realized her husband is like amazing with how romantic he is. And for a minute I felt bad about myself, but I snapped out of it. And it was all good. So, you know, like I said, just do what works for you, and just always try to find the positive and keep moving forward.
Yeah, like with that said, I feel it, you know, one thing that was said was, you know, every day wake up and say it's going to be a good day, and keep the passion. And if you're not where your business is going to be, you need to change you. And as hard as that is to say, we can't be saying, you know, poor me, no more poor me. You know, if something isn't going right, go back to the drawing board, because there is an answer, and we're all in this because we want to be. And, you know, I think that's really important.
Perfect. All right. Is that all you had, Meg?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know if you talked about the 20 and 30 at all. I mean, I've started that. I know everyone's kind of starting that at their own pace, and I've sent a bunch of videos out to people that asked for them, but you know, I followed up a lot today with people, oh, I didn't get to watch it yet. So hopefully that'll help too.
Yeah. And if there's anyone who wants to know more about 20 and 30, I did do, I talked about that. We did a call on it, and there is a group running. So just go ahead and post in the team page. I don't want to beat a dead horse with that. And just know too that if it's not the right time for you to be doing it, that's cool too. But I would say, even if you, regardless, make your list. Make a list of 100 people, 200 people, ideally 200, but just get that list done, because then, that's gold. Once you have that done, it's smooth sailing.
Right, because that can even be, if you're not ready to do the 20 and 30 coaching thing, that can even be, that's how, when I started, and, for the first basically year, I, picked people for challenge groups, not picked people, but, thought of people that I hadn't reached out to and could track that way.
Yeah.
So it's always good to have that list.
And the other thing to think about is, if you're someone who's starting to add coaches to your team, you need to, I was listening to something and they were talking about how, or maybe I was just talking to someone, I don't know. But anyway, once you rank advance and you're Emerald, you're now a leader. So kind of keep that in mind and think about what leadership things you can be doing in addition to what you're doing as a coach. How can you help the people that are with you, and how can you help your team and support them? So that's something to really keep in mind, because otherwise you're going to build this house of cards and you're not going to be able to support them, and it's going to fall. So just know that. And the scripts are there and available for you, but you just need to keep that in mind. You want to make sure that you're giving people support so that they can be successful. So that's all I think I have. You know what I do want to do, because it's only 10 to 10. Geez, we have all night, right? No. But I know last Saturday I could not make it to Super Saturday because it was Grayson's birthday. But I know Jen went, and it was her first Super Saturday. So Jen, if you don't mind, I was so grateful that you posted that information from Super Saturday in the team page. That was really awesome. And I know there were some really great nuggets of information that you shared with us. But if you could just even share with us, not even the content, but just like, what do you think, like, how did you feel being there and after being there? And how do you feel, we always say live events can change your business. Like, what do you think?
I have to go do something downstairs.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like I know, like, I really like these calls because I can talk to everybody face to face, but like when you're doing something online, it almost seems a little less personal. So I feel like when you go to these events, like I went and I was like, wow, this is like real. Like, these are other people that live right near me and they're all doing the same exact thing. And, like, you hear about like Melanie and all these top coaches, but they're like all over the country. And they had like some really like successful coaches there talking that like live really close to where I live. So I don't know, it was just like really cool. The workout was awesome. It was so much fun, like having everybody do the workout together. There was like one coach who even brought her little daughter who was doing it. And it was just like, there's a lot of energy, and they had like this dream big board, and everybody put like their goals that they want to achieve by the end of the year. So I don't know, it was just like really, really cool. And it made me even more excited for the other live events that like, Summit and everything like that. So it made me like really want to like drive forward even more. So I don't know, I was like really excited, and I met one other coach, and we met up through Melanie's Dream Team page. So it was just really cool getting to meet some people in person finally.
Yeah, definitely. I'm so glad that you got to do that, because it really does change things. And, I have to be honest with you, like when I first started, I went to a Super Saturday at someone's house, and there was like 12 of us there. So it wasn't like that kind of experience. Things are really growing in New Jersey, because now we have New Jersey Market Council. And that's who organizes everything. So the events are bigger, because before we didn't have that, and like kind of everyone was doing their own thing. But now that we have our own market council, it brings everyone together. And now that's when we get corporate involved, so that, as these events start to grow, that's how we can get someone like Carl Deichler or Autumn Calabrese to come to our events. So it's really important that we all go to them. And really, like I said, when I started this, I wanted Jen to talk about Super Saturday, but not even so much about the content, because, we do these calls, and we post videos, and you do personal development, and that's all there. And I'm sure there, it's all good. But when you go and you can hear people tell their story, and you can put faces to people, and like she said, just making those connections, it really is priceless. Like I can't tell you how empowering it feels when you're at events like this. Like, you know, when I was at Summit, it truly was like life-changing. And it was just an energy that I haven't felt in a really long time. And it's so cool to connect with people who you have this common interest with, because you feel like, even though you don't know them, you feel like you've known them forever. Mm-hmm. And I'm so glad, Jen, that you got to meet another coach outside of our team too, because like I was saying, like, you know, it's just so cool to be able to make these friendships and make these connections. Of course, we want to make them on our own team too, but like, I just think there's something to be said about that. And I think it's so cool. So I'm super, super glad that you got to go to that. That's really cool. So the next Super Saturday is January 9th. So just kind of keep that in mind, guys, as you look at your calendars going forward. I know, you know, like I said, New Jersey Market Council always plans one now, and usually it's in like the Edison area. So I'm sure it will be there again. I'm sure they've already got it in the works. So just keep that in mind. There's also a 3 Vital Behaviors training with Kim Carver coming up, but that's in Pittsburgh. So that's a far drive. That's November 14th. And then, you know, it's every quarter you have your Super Saturday. So that'll become, you know, January, and then it'll be coming up again 3 months later. And there's just lots of fun things. Like, I know I'm myself looking forward to January in LA and going there and being able to take that information and bring that back to you guys, so you can, you know, look forward to achieving that for next year. And then, you know, of course, the Success Club trip will be coming around, and then Summit. So it's just like, it's just so much fun, and it's cool to be able to have those live events. So, you know, going back to what I said before, get involved in the Fall Classic, and put on your calendar that January 9th date. I would love to have a whole group of us going to a Super Saturday together. I think that's really cool. And I think that it shows, you know, when you're able to post those things on social media, I think people start to take you more seriously, you know? So just to kind of keep that in mind. I think that's all I have. So if anyone has any questions, or anyone has anything else to add, go ahead and unmute yourselves. And if not,
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we're good. So I'm glad we got to chat, and I will talk to you all soon.